All right, it is 7 o'clock on September 5th, 2023. We are going to call to order the Personnel and Administrative Affairs Committee, and I will ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Alderman at Large Ben Clemens, Vice Chair.
Here.
Alderman Tyler Govea. Alderman Thomas Lopez.
I'm here.
Alderman Derek Tebow is here. Alderwoman at Large Shoshana Kelly is also not in attendance. We also have Alderman Patricia Klee with us, and Mayor Jim Donchis.
Thank you very much. First, we will start with public comment. If there's anything anybody from the public would like to speak, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Mary Lou Blaisdell, 32 Webster Street in Nashua. I'm here tonight as a trustee for the Nashua Center for the Arts, and I just wanted to talk on the ordinance before you, O-23-057. When we started working on the Arts Center, we had titled our work and the center the Performing Arts Center. As you all know, we had a anonymous $1 million donor who had the rights to name the center, and that individual chose to name it the Nashua Center for the Arts, giving it basically the name back to Nashua. And so if there's any questions on that ordinance, I'm here. Rich Lannon, the chair of the trustees, couldn't be here tonight, but that's the basis for this ordinance, is so that the ordinance overseeing the Board of Trustees, the title of the center is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else wishing to give public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to communications.
There is none.
And so we will move to interviews. And first, we have the Ethics Review Committee. Mr. Mayor, would you like to come up with your appointee, Mr. Fisher?
I will.
So John Fisher, new appointment, alternate, 21 Indiana Drive, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03060, term to expire June 13th, 2026.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I am nominating for a position as alternate on the Ethics Review Committee, John Fisher, who I believe you're probably familiar with. He's had a long career here in Nashua and has done many things for the community. He worked for the Nashua Police Department for a long period of time and achieved the rank of captain. Then, though, he went down to Carlisle and became the chief of police down there, and recently began work as chief of police in Bedford, Massachusetts. So he has, a lot of experience certainly with police work. But in addition to that, in the community, he's done many things. He's been the varsity basketball coach at BG, also at Alvern. I'm sure he could take me one-on-one, even though I'm a little taller than him. He's been on the Nashua Soup Kitchen. He was on the Nashua Soup Kitchen Board of Directors for a long time. He's been on the Boys Club Boys and Girls Club Board of Directors. He served as an instructor in various capacities, various places regarding police work. He's on boards down in Massachusetts having to do with Homeland Security and other things. And certainly with his background and his experience, his knowledge of Nashua, he is a stellar nominee for the position that I'm asking him to serve for, which is on the Ethics Committee. But with that, I will turn it over to Chief Fisher and ask him to say a few things about himself and of his interest regarding the Ethics Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for having me here tonight. I think that, I hope it's clear that I've had a good experience here in Nashua. It's been a great place to raise my family, to work, to live, and very importantly in my life, to serve. I'd be happy, pleased to serve in this role, and we'll do it to the best of my ability.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to, at this point, open it up to questions or comments from the committee or other members present. Does anybody like to speak? Alderman Lopez?
Yeah, I'd just like to say it's great to see you again, Chief Fisher. I've seen you in a number of roles, particularly at the soup kitchen, with all your work there, and I think the mayor picked a great candidate. I'm glad you're willing to take some time to serve and help us out in this capacity.
It's very kind of you, Tom. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I just want to, as acting chairman of the committee tonight, I want to thank you very much for putting your name forward and volunteering yet again to another thing in our city. We always, we love our volunteers. It's what makes our city a great place to be. And I just want to thank you very much for stepping forward. Thank you. We will take up your appointment later this evening. So the next interview we have is for the Cultural Connections Committee. And we have Lynn Boyer at 9 Northfield Road for Amherst, New Hampshire for a term to expire September 30th, 2024. And I will open it up to the mayor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Boyer, I'm nominating her to the Cultural Connections Committee. She's been working at the Greater Nashua YMCA for about 20 years in various positions. Currently, her title is Executive Director of Youth Development, where she oversees, from the title you can tell, many youth programs for young people. She's also had other positions at the at the YMCA, including Director of Community Impact and Social Responsibility. She is she has education in the arts and has extensive knowledge, given her experience with the young people of the city and of all ethnic backgrounds and economic backgrounds, and therefore brings a valuable perspective, I believe, to the Cultural Connection, will bring a valuable perspective to the Cultural Connections Committee. She's willing to serve us in this capacity, and I greatly appreciate that. So with that, I will give you, I'll turn it over to Ms. Boyer to just say a little bit about herself and of her interest in the committee.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, as he shared, although I don't live in Nashua, I've worked for Nashua for over 20 years. I appreciate how diverse and artistic the community is. And as a pillar in the community representing the Y, we appreciate that diversity and would like to bring that into the Y as well, and be an advocate for those that cannot speak. So I'm just looking forward to serving in this role.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, I'm going to open it up to questions, comments from the committee. Alderman Lopez.
Speaking for myself and not wanting to drag the Y into anything, we missed the Y downtown. It was a great presence when it was located downtown, but I recognize you had to expand to where you are now so that you could better serve the community in the way that you do. The Cultural Connections Committee's purpose is to facilitate communication with the cultural communities and the city government. In the past, it's had youth-based programs. Do you see any opportunities to kind of rekindle those different programs? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the youth leadership program that they used to do, or the different programs that were associated with One Greater Nashua. And then additionally, one cultural component hasn't fully been represented on the committee. We haven't really found anybody to represent the deaf community. Do you have any ideas on how you might be able to pursue those things as a committee member?
Sure, yeah. So being a community organization, we have a lot of connections with other organizations, so I can absolutely reach out to my contacts, both for the youth development. We can reach out to Boys and Girls Club, all sorts of other organizations, and same with the deaf community. We can certainly reach out and let them know and educate them on what the Cultural Connections Committee does and try and bring them to that table for sure.
All right, well, thank you for your answers, and thank you for offering your time to serve in this capacity.
Any other questions, comments from the committee members? Alderman Clee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I I want to echo what Alderman Lopez had said when I was reading your bio about your connection with youth programs and so on. I think it's a really good addition to the cultural connection, and I like to see those youth-based programs kind of be brought to life again. So it's nice to have a voice on that way. So thank you for stepping up.
And I will just say again, thank you for volunteering for this position. Again, our volunteers are what makes Nashua great, and I truly appreciate you coming forward, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that concludes the interviews for
All right,
this
thank you,
evening.
Mr. Chair.
All right, application to license hawkers, peddlers, itinerant vendors license.
There is none.
Appointments by the mayor, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to recommend the following new appointment, alternate to the Ethics Review Committee, John Fisher, with a term to expire June 13th, 2026.
Okay, you've all heard the motion, is there any discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries.
Okay. I'd like to recommend the following new and reappointments to the Cultural Connections Committee. Lynn Boyer, new appointment with a term to expire September 30th, 2024. And Donna Marceau, reappointment with a term to expire February 26th, 2026. And to recommend the following reappointment to the Zoning Board of Adjustment, A. John J. Minkara, with a term to expire September 11th, 2026.
We've all heard the motion, is there any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. Unfinished business,
There is none.
new business resolutions,
There is none.
new business ordinances.
I'd like to make a motion for O-23-057, updating the ordinance regarding the Performing Arts Center Board of Trustees.
A motion to,
Recommend final passage.
okay, sorry. All right, motion is to recommend final passage. Discussion, Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too am on the Board of Trustees for the Performing Arts Center, or the National Center for the Arts. And this ordinance actually does two things. One of the things that it does is it changes the Performing Arts Center name to National Center for the Arts. But there's also one reporting thing. As part of the original ordinance, we said that there would be an annual meeting, meaning that there had to be at least one meeting a year, would be the first Monday in February. However, the committee has voted to meet once a quarter, the second month of that quarter, on the second Friday of that month. So they're changing the reporting date from the first Monday in February to the second Friday in February to be consistent with their meeting schedule. Those are the only two changes to the original ordinance that created this Board of Trustees.
Okay, Alderman Lopez.
I was just going to point out the day change, because it was brought up in public comment that this is essentially just the change to accurately reflect the name of the Center for the Arts, but that they also had their annual meeting on a different day. So,
Yep.
Alderman Clee covered it for me.
Okay. Any further discussion or comments? I'll just say for the record, yeah, this is a housekeeping measure. It doesn't do anything substantial to the ordinance or the way that it works or anything like that. So I think it was articulated very well by the previous two speakers, and I will support it. All right, motion is to recommend final passage. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries. Tabled in committee, do we have any desire to take that off the table?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go back to public comment. I don't see anybody here, public comment. General discussion. Alderman Tebow.
Yeah, one thing, and they just left unfortunately, but I just wanted to say, did we say to let them know to come back to the Board of Aldermen for their swearing in?
Oh, I did not, but we will have,
Donna reach
make
out.
sure Donna
Okay,
reaches
I just wanted to make sure they knew that.
Yep.
All right, cool, thank you.
Any other general discussion? Remarks by Alderman? Alderman Lopez?
So I have two remarks. The first is I invited Donna Marco to come to speak before the board. I have been trying with Alderman Kelly to try to invite some of the returning committee members with particularly thorough knowledge of their committees to come and report so that we get a more up-to-date, what are we working on now kind of presentation. It does kind of, I guess, affect the committee's view on what's going on in these different subcommittees if the people who are coming in are just the ones that are new to the committee versus the ones who might have experienced leadership. And Donna, as the chair, can fill us in on a lot of the things that they're working on. Particularly, she wanted to pass on because she had another engagement tonight and wasn't able to make it. She wanted to make sure I invited to the public to the Multicultural Festival this Sunday. So this Sunday from 10 to 2, the Multicultural Festival will be joining with the Farmers Market outside the library. It's going to be a great event. They've been putting a lot of time and effort into planning it. The library is a great host under any circumstances, so I definitely encourage everybody to come out and check out what they have. And then the second thing is I just wanted to plug Employment Connect, which will also be at the library. This is a job fair event that will be next Tuesday, September 12th. It's from 9 to 1, and it's an opportunity to meet employers face-to-face. And the idea is to promote that kind of human interaction for hiring rather than just applying online and hoping you answer your survey questions correctly. So Employment Connect, there's still time for employers to register. If you're interested, go to involvedtoimpact.org/Employment Connect. And if you're looking for a job, come to the library from 9 to 1.
All right. Any other remarks by Alderman? Okay, seeing none, Alderman Tebow, do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that motion carries, and we are adjourned at 7:18 PM.